What's going on, y'all? It's JSMO Reviews here, back at it again with another video. This time bringing you guys a battler spotlight on A Ward. Definitely plan on doing more of these and happy to bring this series back for another episode. And his recent performance versus Qleen, Paper, however you want to refer to him. And it was a very good battle. Overall, the GTX card was extremely dope. Just want to say quickly, because I'm not going to be doing a full recap, my battle of the night was Pass versus B Magic. I had B Magic rounds 1 and 3. B Magic with another vintage performance, and Pass still putting on a good year. Like I said, the pure rapping went really good against each other. I had my predictions, and I'm glad to see the way that it played out. Marv 1 had possibly round of the night with his first versus Satire. I had Marv 3, Gentleman's 30 for the battle, but especially in that first by a landslide. Satellite Dish, some of the best bars of the night from him. And as for the rest of the card, am I missing anything? Chef Trez versus Thesaurus was a pretty close, good, debatable. I had Geechee pretty clear in a very good battle versus Disaster for the main event. So just dope stuff all the way around. But for the battler spotlight, for someone I wanted to pick out, do a little piece on, I thought A Ward's performance versus Qleen was the best performance of the night when you take into account just kind of the maybe the level shown there and the level of opponent. Just had a lot of respect going into this. I had said that Ward possibly was going to be performance of the night, and it's glad to see him continue this streak of high rated consistency, really. And as for this is Battler Spotlight, so I'm going to be doing a round-for-round regular review of Qleen versus A Ward, and then after that, I'm going to do a little piece giving A Ward his flowers, going over what's been going on in his career lately, and do a mini bookem. For those of you that haven't seen that series on my channel as well, we're going to go over a few opponents that are probably good for him, going forward, what are the best matchups for him. But without further ado, let's just start out with breaking down A Ward versus Qleen. So first round on Qleen, and he starts out with some jokey stuff, and then the first actual bar that he's able to, kind of hit or even just really put out there is once he hear this Baptist is going to sit him next to the Tabernacle, the Baptist flip. That was cool. Immediately into the struggle talk, and what you know about Qleen is that there is no archetype for him. Comedy, real talk, some bars, performance, there's a little bit of everything, so you never know. Full, kind of wild card. And he gets right into the struggle talk after the Tabernacle bar. Bitch, I probably sold the cane that made him kill Abel. That was pretty fire. And then right from there, pivots into comedy. As a kid, we saw you throwing tantrums in the grocery store. When I was a kid, my mama would beat my ass for even looking at me wrong. And there's a couple different flips like that, comparing childhoods and come-ups, which is pretty funny. And then speaking of funny, he has a bar here, which obviously is unintentional how hilarious it is, but after this battle, it's going to be a beaver death. You going in a damn casket. I had a good laugh when I heard that one the first time. Obviously, that bar is atrocious, but almost atrocious in an entertaining way. I'll say I'm not mad at it. And then he gets into probably his best bar of the first round. I'll smack your mama's mama with the can. Bitch, that's a graham cracker. That was fire. I like that. While you were in the park with your dog licking off the same ice cream, fam, I was with my homies in the park stalking, banging Ice Cream Man. That was fire too. So he has two of his better lines to end the round, but overall just a solid round from QP in the first. And then going into A Ward's first, he has a white lines rebuttal, which was decent. And then he said, oh, your mama used to whoop your ass with it. This battle, you should feel right at home. That was fire. And the power of rebuttaling, give yourself a one haymaker lead before you get into your writtens. That's the price you pay going against A Ward, especially with Ward going second. One of the hardest, situations in battle rap right now is probably battling A Ward and him being able to go second. Right there, haymaker lead off the bat. I got a drop talking about him and his wife for doing renovations on the house, and he says, so I'm not the only one that got a drop paper for Kitchen 2, talking about Qleen, switching his name around to Kitchen Qleen from Qleen Paper, so that was fire. Even God know paper plane, and I'ma fold you up, the paper plane fold you up. That was fire. Then he starts getting into some flow patterns. At this point, A Ward's it's the aggression, the writing, it's just consistent. This isn't the craziest verse, but it's just a good enough verse kind of to take it clear. Gets in all these crazy flow patterns, and then in it, Kitchen Qleen, he go night, anti-histamines, and just back to back. It's a little bit just too much, man. He's too well-rounded, and it reminds me of what I said in the predictions pertaining to this first round. he just can do more. Qleen had a good first, but Ward on 100, we're talking about schemes, bars. He's got the rebuttal. He's got the haymaker lead to start. He's going to be clean throughout. He's going to be aggressive. So I had A Ward 1-0 clear going into the second round. So second round, back on Qleen. Something I want to say, this is a good Qleen performance. You know, if you're a kitchen Qleen, if you're a Qleen paper fan, I'm not saying it's one of the best ever, but this is definitely a solid performance. He even has some of his best lines to start the second here. Talking about church, saying if I had 27 in my palm, bitch, I shot 3 out the 30. That was fire. Might have been his best bar of the battle. Incredible. You're going to lose the first, second, and lose the third ward, like when Katrina hit, and that was fire. But sadly, this is the round where stumbles in preparation seem to get it clean. He says a bar. It's really disjointed to explain it. There's definitely stumbles in there, but he's trying to rap, kind of freestyle through it while trying to get some of his memorized material. And he like repeats a bar one way but says a bunch of the words wrong, so he goes back and repeats the concept again correctly, I think. But just overall, it wasn't a choke, but his round was so disorganized, and then he cut it so early that it just really takes all the air out of his second, which sucks because he started out good, and I think he was getting into a pocket, but he did some, veteran as it can be. He kind of gave himself a shot where, yeah, his round was shot in terms of material from there, but he freestyled around for a few seconds and ended it before he actually had a legitimate choke. So, sadly, I have to mark it down. It's just a very, very light, short second from Qleen. And then going into A Ward second, he was talking about Qleen no-showing him, and back in 2018, I believe it was. And Ward said he told the league owner, I don't know, the Lord works in mysterious ways. Talk about Qleen being a vice lord. So that was kind of funny the way they flipped that around. A little bit of comedy from Ward's side too, going to show how well-rounded he is. They had everything. Talking about people Qleen in the hospital, saying they had everything for kitchen, the bed, bath, and beyond. That the way they took care of him, that was a haymaker. I mean, that was incredible. In my opinion, Ward's second might be his personal best round of the battle. Out of the dudes that were great, talking about comparing Qleen and Charlie that had personality, and saying one of them fell off, and he said between who? Paper, clips, who held it together? That was fire. Talking about this dude, Ron Stoppable, but Kim Possible, using their governments. I believe A Ward said his name is Kimsey and that Qleen's name is Ron. So the Ron Stoppable, Kim Possible reference, that was also a haymaker. So he's already got a couple of his better bars of the battle right here in the second. Intentional walk, he's a free base, and then he even throws he even throws some shots at Pat Stay and Frack. Will I take Frack? Sure, after I'll make Qleen break. That was fire. So once again, just turning up. It was against a decent, like a pretty solid Qleen outside of the stumbles. It was Ward just 2-0 clear, already taking the battle, going into the third round. And then we start off with the third round here, and delighted to say this is probably the best round of Qleen in the battle. Qleen starting off in the third. I don't make the rules. I just tell the truth. Your mama used to suck dick to get you through Bible school. So automatically clowning him off bat. Pretty random, pretty funny. To talk about, gets into part of the religious, attacking A Ward's religion, which he's done this a few times in this battle. But something. So I rolled up with a Bible page and poured a 4 in the communion juice. That was pretty funny. Even Ward even fucked with that. And then you start seeing him. He just gets more comfortable in this third round overall. Maybe it's more confidence in memorizing your material. But after the communion juice, green beam on the Glock. Oh, this little light of mine. I like that. That was fucking fire by Qleen. Y'all remember when Kirk Franklin dropped? Y'all gonna see a Christian hit. I like that too. You ever got baptized? I don't know why. You never did shit. So this is what you get from Qleen at his best. You get the comedy and the little bit of rapping and comedy. It's unorthodox to lead you up. You're laughing, and then he's hitting you with the little light of mine, the Kirk Franklin Christian hit, the haymakers in between making you laugh. It catches you off guard. Just makes for an enjoyable experience. Third is pretty great from Qleen. After the joke there, talking about trapping, he said, fuck the cold weather. I'm going to wear this dicky suit till the weather break. I like that. I had to serve it. I couldn't cut it in portions, so I had to serve it off the porcelain to the fiends. That was my collection plate. all around, you get everything you want from Qleen here. Real talk, comedy, haymakers, and pretty cleansely. Little bit of turbulence in the third, but nowhere near the second. Not enough to really even say he stumbled. And then it's on Ward in the third, and he wraps it up with a good third himself. You had to go to church every Sunday as a kid, I'd be mad too. At some point, Qleen said that during his round. So Ward rebuttal saying he didn't go to church till he was 15. A funny little rebuttal. He's going to rebuttal every round. It's almost like I have to mention it. Whether it's decent or great, that was a cool one. Doesn't score too many, but it's creative. Has the Ozark bar, and I can tell a hard fiend smell better than Darlene Snell. Like that. That was a haymaker. Has an angle about Qleen being washed up. Talks a little bit more attacking his character about the potential that Qleen's wasted within battle rap. Has the Ronnie Lott bar, a football. We all know how good A Ward is with the football bars. So the Ronnie Lott bar hit for me. Went up against He is a dream team scheme. Isaiah Thomas, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, everybody on the dream team in 92. So even just dope, just sound writing in this third. Then he gets into another flow pattern, actually a gun bar, which I don't know. Maybe I don't think he spits them very often, but it was pretty decent. Boom, turn kitchen to an open concept. He had a whole flow pattern, kind of cadence that he was taking with that, and then the turn kitchen to an open concept. That was pretty dope. So the third is actually the closest round of all of them, but me personally, I actually edged Qleen the third round. And a pretty comfortable edge at that. I thought Ward's third was really good. Ward was good to great across all three. His third is probably his worst round of the battle, and it's still a close round with Qleen's best round. So it might sound like some wording on it sounds funny, but it just goes to show that even though I had a 2-1 Ward first and second, I gave Qleen the third. He pretty much got a clear win over a really motivated, pretty good Qleen, and it's indicative of what A Ward's past couple years have been, and that's why I gave A Ward this battle. Like I said, 2-1 clear first and second, third debatable, edged it to Qleen, and now to get into the bookem part of this episode. And as for the matchups that I want to see for Ward, and like I said, I think that Ward is one of the best in the world. I said it a few times. I think he's one of the 5 best active battle rappers in the world. And I think from here on out, if it's not obvious already, he's getting top-tier opponents. All I want to see from him is top-tier opponents. So I have 3 to 4 different options here, battles that I'd love to see from Ward through the end of the year, over the next year or two, whenever it's possible. And they are all top-tier opponents. And to start out, I want to start with Pat Stay. Obviously, just called him out in the clean paper battle. I don't know how realistic it is. Obviously, Pat's a higher up their name. I know Pat's talking about getting back in the ring soon. But I think A Ward versus Pat is dope. I think it introduces a new challenge for A Ward in terms of when he has lost. It's versus, Ilmax and DNAs and guys who are more all around, really not street-based content at all, very concept-based, more on the pure rapping side, and take more creative, not the guys that rap street talk and do gun bars. Obviously, that's my genre of battle rap. You know what I'm saying? URL's my favorite league. It's what I've grown up on. But when you get to a Pat Stayer and Ilmac, there's not, I feel like when guys go up against A Ward, that street material just bounces off of him. It just doesn't really apply to him. And you're more likely for more of these King of the Dot, more all-around league kind of rappers to hear an approach that people might listen to with Ward. Obviously, versus Ilmac, I think he did an angle joking about his wife. He did something very creative in the third. I forgot what it was. But it's a very, big creative approach, and that seems to be really the way to get any type of clear, edge on A Ward. So I think Pat, just a very interesting challenge and fits it. Next matchup I'd love is T-Top versus Ward, and I'll also throw in Av versus Ward. I'll get these both out the way now because I think either Av or T-Top will be the perfect debut for Ward on URL. Now, obviously, due to arguments, particularly on exclusivity, not all this other stuff people talk about, due to contract debates over Ward not wanting to be there for multiple years, locked in contract exclusive only, it's hard for him to get on there. But if he is able to, or able to get either of these on GTX or anywhere else, T-Top and Av, both solidified top-tier names. I just want to see Ward versus other solidified top-tier names. I really don't even care about the league at this point. It's become the ridiculous talking point. I just love when these guys step out. Shout out to Rum Nitty. Obviously, we've covered that battle on this channel. Rum Nitty versus A Ward going down early September. Those are the matchups I want to see for him. T-Top, kind of on the down spell right now. I'd probably have Ward pretty very clear going into that, but that just goes to show the force that Ward is, but very respectable opponent. I think his debut on URL, no disrespect, but it shouldn't be a Nun or a Jack Boy, a higher mid-tier, even an up-and-comer. It should be another solidified top-tier threat like Ward is right now. So T-Top, like I said, and the other thing, T-Top and Av both said they take this battle, and Av said he wants Ward on GTX, so if that happens, definitely down to get behind it, but Av, I think, is even the more difficult threat, obviously, with the what is it? Ward versus Nitty coming up. We're kind of seeing already a puncher matchup versus Ward, but Av, another threat, maybe a little more personal, kind of plays bully ball. And then finally, the last matchup that I would love to see for A Ward, the one I need to see this year, Big K on Max Out 3. They have backstory. They've been talking trash for years. Big K genuinely thinks he's a lot better than Ward. Ward genuinely thinks he's a lot better than K. I think this is just a perfect matchup that comes full circle for Ward's kind of run on RBE and run in general when he was calling Big K out when he was just an up-and-comer, and now to face them kind of equal playing field. I think that would be a great battle somewhere in the second half of this year. But shout out A Ward. Overall, I think that he's had, an amazing past couple years in battle rap. He's going on what might borderline on somewhat of a historic run for somebody off URL, doesn't have the machine behind them, and he keeps going up against these top tiers, just earning it naturally through the fans' respect, and just becoming one of the most dangerous battle rappers in the world without some big promo, without the machine behind him. He's worked through small leagues, does a lot of local league stuff. He does everything that the big time, kind of elitist wouldn't want, and he still defeats the odds. He's one of the biggest battle rappers right now. So I just think that's dope. I think he might be on the Champion of the Year track again. Had a quiet start to the year, but now with Qleen, the Reed win, the QB win, and now we have Nitty coming up, possibly Big K on Max Out 3, and whatever other matchups we could throw together versus top talent. Things are still looking good in A Ward's world, and I hope that, soon we can get the whole URL thing worked out so we can consistently see him versus the, top tiers. He's getting top tiers off, and it doesn't mean it doesn't count. I'm not like that at all, but it's no shocker that if he was on URL, he'd probably just get more top tiers more often. So that's just what I want to see, but he's having a great year. Just want to give him his flowers. One of the best rebuttalers, just turning into one of the best all-around battlers in the world, if not one of them right now. But it's been dope. You guys let me know, is there anyone else you want to see a spotlight on? Like, subscribe, and comment down below if there's anyone you want to see, if they've had a little bit of a slept-on year or slept-on performance, and you want to see them talked about a little bit more. But it's been J Small Reviews again, y'all, and I'm going to catch you on the next one. Peace.